Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Day Day.
American Date Night, Part 2. In this lesson, you'll learn how to use the past and present perfect continuous tenses. We'll listen to a conversation between Dave and Isabel as they have their first date. We'll listen to a conversation between Dave and Isabel as they have their first date.
Go Dave. They still don't know each other very well and are eating at a nice restaurant.
Because of that, they will be speaking a little bit formally, but still not like business people.
I think that's it.
Let's listen to the conversation.
You know, I have to admit, when you first asked me out, I thought you were kind of creepy. But this is a nice place, so I apologize for misjudging you.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of invitation from witnesses before, though.
Not exactly. So where are you from? How long have you been in DC for?
I'm originally from Oregon. I've only been living in DC for a few months now. Before coming here, I'd been living in Virginia when I went to school. Where did you go to college?
I'm a proud alumnus of the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh, I see. Sorry for asking.
Why? For all my life, I had wanted to be a cop. No need to go to college for that, so I went to the academy instead.
That's cool. So have you lived in DC your whole life?
Born and raised.
A true Washingtonian.
Is that really what a first date in the United States would sound like?
It's true that in the United States, like many other countries, some of the first questions you ask when you get to know someone are about their background. The questions that Dave asked were pretty typical of the kinds of questions people will ask.
What about differences between Washington, D.C. and the rest of the states?
Good question. I don't think that they are that different, but especially in the high-powered world of Washington, D.C., the university or college that you attended is often asked about.
But Isabel didn't go to college.
Exactly. This can be a tricky topic if someone did not go to college, and it can be also seen as a negative. Someone might be embarrassed if it is brought up. Generally, though, small talk when you're getting to know each other centers around where the other person has lived, where they've worked, and where they have gone to school.
So it's usually okay to ask, though.
Generally, I think so. But after the little questions, then you get to ask more interesting and more specific questions about who you are out on a date with.
I can think of a whole lot of other questions I want to ask.
That's great. Want to move on to the vocab, though?
Sounds good. Let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. The first word we shall see is
To admit.
to concede the truth of something, to confess.
To admit. To admit.
Next is
Creepy.
makes you feel uncomfortable, inappropriate.
Creepy. Creepy.
Next we have
To misjudge.
to assess or judge incorrectly.
To misjudge. To misjudge.
Next is
Witness.
a person who saw something, often a crime.
Witness. Witness.
Next we have
Originally.
firstly, from the beginning, at the very start.
Originally. Originally.
Next is
Alumnus.
a graduate.
Alumnus. Alumnus.
Next we have
Knock.
a loud noise created by hitting with the fist.
Knock. Knock.
Next is
Washingtonian.
somebody from Washington, D.C.
Washingtonian. Washingtonian.
Next we have
Academy.
An institution of learning that focuses on a specific trade or skills, like science or the military.
Academy. Academy.
Next is
To be raised.
to grow up.
To be raised. To be raised.
Let's take a closer look at some of the words and phrases from this lesson.
What's up first?
Knock, a loud noise created by hitting with the fist.
In the dialogue, Sheila said, I'm a proud alumnus of the School of Hard Knocks. Alumnus is another word from this line, and it means a graduate of some type of school. However, the School of Hard Knocks is not a real school. It is an idiom used to describe real life when they did not attend university or college. The phrase refers to living life in a difficult manner, and that maybe they got knocked and learned through the process. It is usually used in a lighthearted manner.
Oh, yeah. My brother is studying at the School of Hard Knocks right now.
Oh, really? I wanted to go there, but unfortunately I couldn't get in.
Yeah, you're not so tough.
Okay, so what about our next phrase?
Born and raised.
Isabel says this when Dave asks her if she has lived in DC for her whole life. As we learned from the vocab section, where we were raised means where we grew up. We can use the phrase born and raised to tell someone that we have spent our entire childhood in one place.
So, where are you from again?
Well, I'm from West Philadelphia, born and raised, of course.
I didn't know that. All right, I'm ready to move on then.
Go for it.
In this lesson, we will be reviewing the present and past perfect continuous tenses.
That's right. You probably have already learned them, but these are two of the most difficult tenses to use correctly. Let's start by listening again to something Dave said in the present perfect continuous tense. He said, I have only been living in DC for a few months now.
We use a present perfect continuous tense to describe things that began in the past but that continue today.
We often use it followed by for or since. For is used to say how long we have been doing it, and since tells us when they started.
Can you think of some examples?
How about, we have been doing this podcast together since last year?
Wow, has it already been a year? I have been working here for too long.
Please don't leave.
Okay, you've convinced me.
Let's move on by listening to something else Dave said. It was, I had been living in Virginia when I went to school.
This example shows the past perfect continuous tense.
The past perfect continuous can be even trickier to use correctly. We use this when we are talking about something that happened for a length of time in the past, something that started and ended before now. We often use it with another statement that provides the reference for the time.
Right, like when you got here today and I had been waiting for 30 minutes.
Sorry, the train was late, but good example. Can you think of another?
By the time I started working here, you had already been doing the podcast for 2 months.
Great.
It is difficult to know when to use these tenses, though. A lot of the times, it seems like I can just use simple past.
That's true. Many times you can change the structure a little and use simple past. But using the past perfect continuous gives it a nice sense of order in your sentences.
I think this is one our listeners need to practice.
I agree.
Okay, is that it for this lesson?
Yup, we're just about out of time. Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
We can't wait until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Until next time.
You know, I have to admit, when you first asked me out, I thought you were kind of creepy. But this is a nice place, so I apologize for misjudging you.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of invitation from witnesses before, though.
Not exactly. So where are you from? How long have you been in DC for?
I'm originally from Oregon. I've only been living in DC for a few months now. Before coming here, I'd been living in Virginia when I went to school. Where did you go to college?
I'm a proud alumnus of the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh, I see. Sorry for asking.
Why? For all my life, I had wanted to be a cop. No need to go to college for that, so I went to the academy instead.
That's cool. So have you lived in DC your whole life?
Born and raised.
A true Washingtonian.